Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Hello,
Sorry,
Ag.
I had to mute myself for a second. I was replying to something. But yes,
Nah.
we
Oh,
are
there
we
we
are
are.
live.
We're live.
You gotta put your pretty face up there. Oh, there you are.
Okay,
Hi, baby girl.
there we are. Okay,
All right,
so
Mama X. Be careful
yeah,
not to say my name.
we're live. Okay,
Just a
kid.
reminder of when we remind her, cause I love you.
So here we are. This is
Yes.
Tuesday night, October 7th,
Why does it sound funny?
and it's what sounds funny?
No, nothing. You're good. You're good.
I sound funny?
No, 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 no. I think it's me.
It's me accent.
Me accent.
It's me accent. Whatever. So tonight on Let's Talk Paranormal with TJ Swick and X.
Don't dox yourself,
Uh,
silly.
we
I'm kidding.
I
It's
sound
fine.
silly. Now I sound silly.
No, I
Okay.
said don't dox yourself, silly.
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about ghost ships. So,
Ghost
hi
ships?
Haley. I see you've been waiting for us,
She has been.
and
She's been very patient. 30
I'm
minutes.
I'm sorry I had no clue that it was going to tell everybody that I was going to go live soon. Learn
Oh,
something new
yeah.
each
So
week.
to explain what happened there, because I know it sent a notification super early. So what I'm going to have to do is fix the notification. Is that apparently with StreamYard, which is what Mama uses,
There.
um, it not only will send a notification that she's gone live, but it's also sending a notification when she's doing an upcoming live. So you guys were literally sitting here for 30 minutes as the live was upcoming. It would have been an hour because we were going to start at 8 p.m. EST, but unfortunately fortunately we decided to start early so you guys weren't sitting here that long. So I will fix the notification for sure. That way it doesn't do that to you guys again. That was definitely my fault. I was not expecting that.
It was definitely her fault because it wouldn't be my fault. I'm not taking the blame.
Excuse you. Be quiet.
It's my producer's fault.
I'm not a producer.
Wherever wherever Axe is.
I wouldn't have minded because I'm multitasking.
Well, I'm not.
I am always multitasking. I'm forever multitasking. Okay. So,
Okay. So okay.
you're gonna get started. You're the one that's gonna get started here.
I'm gonna get started. Well, let's see. I'm trying to figure out. Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna get started here. I'm gonna share this to the people I believe in Facebook, so they can start seeing it too.
When I first got in
So
here,
that
I was modding for 3 different people. Dang! That's multitasking.
let's see if it's coming up here, guys. I'm looking. No, I guess they just gotta click on the thingy and it will bring them to us.
See.
I hope. Sound good?
Yes.
Sounds like that's what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Okay, hopefully.
We got a fourth person in here already. We got four
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
Well, that's I think
We
there's
got
two of
four
us,
people.
and then there's I think
Ah,
Haley and probably Raylene.
you shouldn't be counting me. I'm not a person.
Don't,
Okay, maybe I am. A small one.
excuse you.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm your first like as well.
Okay. So
All right.
whoever is
Oh, we got five
hopefully
people in here now.
hopefully they're going to well give us a shout out. Let me know who's there. Axe and I don't know who you are if you don't let us know who you are. Did that make sense? I
I
don't think that
think the
made
one
sense.
that's spamming all the hearts is Ty. I
Well,
think he's
hi
in here.
Ty.
I think he's in here because he was the one
Hi
that was spamming
Ty.
the emojis last time.
Probably. I'm going to tell everybody just to click on the link here, so
Oh, it
that
was
way they
you.
can just.
Oh, Haley, I love you. Thank you for spamming the emojis.
Okay.
I'm
So
sorry. I'm
who
sorry.
was sending us emojis?
That was Haley. I call her baby girl because that's what I know her as. So whatever you want to call her is up to you, but I call her baby girl. My baby girl.
There we go. I'm going to tell everybody click the ghost and join us. Works, right? Sounds good.
Yes. Yes. Actually, you know what? That just reminded me. I'm going to do another post.
So click on a ghost and come join us. Everybody's going to be going, what ghost? I don't see a ghost. Do y'all see the ghost? I see the ghost. I can see the ghost. So, Haley, don't cry. Axe just doesn't know who was sending us emojis. So, are we about ready to start Axe?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I had to get some of my coffee there, because it's almost past my bedtime. Oh, wait a minute. It is past my bedtime. I go to bed at 7:30. Anyway, so as I said, tonight we're going to talk about ghost ships,
Yes.
and there's quite a few of them out there. I only picked a few. I didn't pick them all. Uh,
There's a lot.
we can we can start with the Mary Celeste, most famous ghost ship. Um, well, she was dubbed a ghost ship. She sank um, in 1870. Well, she didn't sink. She did not sink. That was a lie. I did not mean to lie.
No, she was found off the coast of
She was,
Portugal
yeah, she was found off the coast, just no crew, just floating around.
by herself
Um,
haphazardly.
but although the I want to call it a dinghy, but it wasn't a dinghy. It was a life raft, lifeboat, whatever. The lifeboat was gone. Um, it was a crew of 10, basically, is what is noted in history. It was the captain, his wife, his daughter, and then 7 crew members. There's been a lot of speculation of what happened to the ship. Um, Axe has her own theory,
Mm-hmm.
and she's going to tell you what her theory is. Um, and it may have been. I'm not gonna say that she's wrong, because she could be right. We don't know. It's just one more reason why I don't get in the ocean.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
we'll get to the reasons soon enough, but
I mean,
yeah.
it sparked a widespread of public fascination and speculation. The Mary Celeste, as we said, was found adrift on December. Let's see, what was it? December 5th, I believe it was, 1872, near the Azores, is what I have. I guess I don't know where the Azores is, so I guess
Well,
I didn't do
it's off the coast of
coast of
Portugal,
Portugal. Okay,
basically. Yeah, it's close to
uh,
Portugal.
the ship, the ship's captain Benjamin Briggs, as I said, him. It was him, his wife, their daughter,
Two
and I'm not
daughters,
really.
or
Oh, I
2-year-old
only.
daughter. Excuse me, two
Yeah, I
year
was
old
gonna
daughter.
say it was only one daughter.
Sorry.
Which, I mean, technically, I don't think she was part of the crew. She was only 2, but and then the 7 crew members, they were never seen again. Back in 1872, I don't guess they had forensic science or anything where they could go out and investigate that type of stuff. It's just the ship disappeared, whatever. My understanding, it was carrying industrial strength alcohol. So technically, I guess one might say, um, could it have been the fumes from the alcohol that made the captain, his family, and the 7 crew members leave the ship? Because, as I said, It did not have a lifeboat on it. The lifeboat was missing. Um, it could have been that. Could have been piracy,
Mm-hmm.
mutiny. Unlikely because I mean the ship was intact. All of its everything they were carrying was still there. They said that the only thing that was even noticeable, I believe, the sails had slight damage to them, but other than that, the ship was in perfect sailing order. Um, which kind of puts out a sea quake or a water spout because it would have had water. You know, if any of that had happened, it would have probably been, you know, flooded with some type of water, I would say.
Right.
Um, you know, the ship carried, as I said, it carried the industrial alcohol. Um, it was seaworthy. It was in seaworthy condition. Um, so,
Supposedly.
well,
Supposedly anyway.
I mean, I wasn't there. You know, I mean, 1872. Well, I guess I could have been because you know I got that one picture that says I was born in 1663. You know, that my one child never lets me forget after he's seen
Not
that
me.
my
That's not me.
no, no, it's my son. You know, he found a picture. I'll explain. He found a picture that my mom many years ago had taken of me. I was probably about a year old, and on the picture, she wrote, you know, TJ, picture taken, 1663, and I'm like, wow. And of course, my son's seen it. Says, see, I knew you were old. So I
Screwed.
guess technically I would have been alive. You know, I would have been like what 200 and
Yeah,
yeah,
200
what
some. Anyway.
200 and something. So anyway, no, I wasn't around when this ship just got found floating around. So of course, needless to say, because it was found this way without a crew, but it was still sailing around out there, it got labeled a ghost ship. I mean,
Hmm.
how else did it sail around? It didn't crash into anything. I mean, they
Well, it
don't.
wasn't really sailing either. It was just kind of like haphazardly moving, probably most likely from the waves. So it
Right.
wasn't necessarily like sailing itself. It was
Well, it was
just,
sailing if the sails were
well, yeah,
up, then it was sailing.
well, yeah, just moving haphazardly. Yeah.
You know, but it didn't run aground anywhere, and that's a good thing. You know, so you know that's one ship. And yes, Haley, being 2 years old on that ship to die, yeah, that was pretty sad.
Well, you don't know if they died. That's the thing. So there's no evidence to
Never
show
seen
that
it
they
again.
were murdered, right? So I know you went through like the theories of what could have possibly happened. So you had sea spouts,
Hmm.
sea monsters, pirates,
I did not say sea monsters. You just said sea monsters.
the Bermuda Triangle.
Yep.
They suspected there could have been mutiny. They
Yep.
also suspected that it could have
Piracy.
that the Mary Celeste was simply cursed because prior to the gentleman who owned it that disappeared with the his wife, his daughter, and then the 7 crew members, this particular ship had other captains, 3 other in particular, all of which whom died
Oh,
under mysterious causes. So I, me being the person that I am, trying to make a joke of everything, I'm like, oh, it's sea monsters or it's aliens, honestly. Um, but obviously, as Mama said already, that's not possible because there was no water to be found on said ship. You would have had some type of water damage to the deck, to anything. The only thing that was damaged was the sails of the ship. Um, so
slightly damaged.
that leaves the theory of pirates, the Bermuda Triangle, mutiny, or the ship literally being cursed. Now, the
Um,
chances of it being pirates is highly unlikely, only because nothing had been stolen from the ship.
yeah.
Everything that was on the ship was left there. So, unless the pirates literally just wanted to take the people, it doesn't make sense that it was pirates.
No,
Um,
doesn't make sense that it was mutiny because once again, There was no one on the ship. It was all by itself, and all of the, um, the goods that they were, you know, sailing with, the industrial alcohol that they were shipping wherever. I don't even know. I don't even know if I read where the ship was supposedly going. Um, it was still there. Could it have
Right.
been? But there is beings that the lifeboat was gone, and the crew members and the captain and his family were gone. Is it possible the fumes from the industrial alcohol were too much for them, and they felt that they needed to escape? So they all got into the life raft, their lifeboat, and they sailed away. And then they met a fate later on, trying to get somewhere to safety. They could have met a storm, or a sea monster could have gotten them that way, I guess. Um, uh, you know, something could have happened to them after they left the ship and got onto the lifeboat. We don't know that because obviously they were never seen again.
Right. Nobody
Any
was.
of them. Any
Not the
of them.
7 crew members, not the daughter, not the wife, not the husband.
Well, to
Um,
be honest, we don't know who the crew members were. Um, but as far as the Briggs, which were the captain, his wife, and daughter, they were never seen again.
right. Which is why they are suspecting something of like mutiny or piracy. So
Mm-hmm.
what I found is that the that's actually crazy. Yes. So what I found according to some research that I did is that the reason why it could have been mutiny or piracy, and the piracy would have been done by most likely the De Gratia, I believe is how you say it, the De Gratia crew or others, but they specifically named that one in particular because obviously they were well known back then for
Back
whatever
then,
reason.
probably, yeah.
Um, the reason why they are saying mutiny or piracy is because they were trying to carry out insurance or salvage fraud,
Right.
which would the crew would have benefited from that. And what they are suspecting might have happened with that particular theory is that, like Mama already said, there was alcohol aboard the ship, and with the type of alcohol that they were transporting, it was flammable. It was also letting out fumes
Fumes.
that could have killed people. So what could have happened? The theory that is attached to the piracy or mutiny is that the crew or pirates did away with the Briggs and the crew, or the crew did away with the Briggs. If you know what I mean by did away, they
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
just
And
sent
stole
them
the ship.
overboard. They took the ship, but because of the alcohol fumes from the alcohol that was there, they had to.
Abandoned
I guess
ship.
there was a small explosion, is
No,
what
not
they
on
said.
that ship. Not
No,
on that ship.
I'm literally reading it that there was a small
Oh, okay.
explosion from the alcohol fumes in the main hatch. The crew most likely jumped ship with the lifeboat,
Oh,
having tied it to the ship. And what they were planning to do is that once it was safe to go back, they were going to reel themselves back in. However, what happened is that
sea
uh,
monster got them.
the line that was keeping them secured to the Mary Celeste snapped, and the
Because
Mary
of the sea
Celeste sailed
monster.
off on their own, leaving them stranded in the lifeboat. That is the theory tied to either the mutiny or piracy.
Right. But we don't know for sure. In
Exactly.
fact, what I've read, and basically this is how it ended, the story, is that um, the 10 occupants had never been found, making it one of history's greatest maritime mysteries because nobody really knows what happened. We can make conclusions all day long, but we don't really know. And because it was around that was around, I guess, the Bermuda Triangle too. Well, we all know what happens around the Bermuda Triangle. Ships
Right.
disappear all the time. People disappear. Airplanes have disappeared. So, you know, that's how that
Only
one ends.
because things malfunction, especially technological things malfunction in the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
Now, Something interesting that I did come across is that maybe potentially the entire crew, including the Briggs, ended up getting away. They were in the lifeboat and they all tried to sail away.
Mm-hmm.
However, what this theory says is the Mary Celeste had carried charcoal, and the ship had recently been extensively refitted. So that means that coal dust and construction debris could have fouled the ship's pumps, which would explain the disassembled pump found on the Mary Celeste.
Mm-hmm.
So that is one thing that was also tampered with, because other than this, the Mary Celeste was pretty much intact. The sails were like they had minor tears in them,
And
which
that
is
could have
how
been
it was
from
still
age.
able. The what?
That could have been from age. I mean,
Yeah, depending on how long she was out there, it could have been from the wind. So
right.
other than the sails, the only thing that they found that was like out of place was that the pump was inoperative. Um, So he would not have known much. Captain Briggs, they're talking about, would have not known much about seawater being in the hull. So what they would have done is that they would have used the life raft, or not life raft, but the lifeboat to get away, because obviously
Lifeboat, yeah.
with the pump being inoperative, your ship isn't going to move properly, which could then also start a fire potentially.
Right. Exactly.
Um, And what would have happened is that they weren't able to take anything with them, obviously, because they would have their supplies and stuff, but you can only bring a certain amount of supplies with you
On
along
a
with all the
lifeboat.
people.
Yeah.
So what would have happened is that all of them would have been, the crew and the family would have been on this lifeboat. However, without knowing which direction to properly go, they would have succumbed to hunger, thirst, and exposure,
Mm-hmm.
which again, we don't know what happened, but this leaves their fate highly unknown. It leaves a highly
Survival
unknown
would have
and
been very
not a
hard.
good one.
Right. Unless another ship came along. And if another ship had came along and rescued him, well, I think we'd know about that today. But we don't. It's labeled a mystery. They were never seen again.
Right. The one that interests me though, the theory that really interests me though, is the fact that they say that the Mary Celeste was potentially cursed because of the prior three owners, or not owners, but captains of the ship that had all mysteriously died for unknown reasons. However,
Well, it
we
doesn't
are
say how they
talking
died.
about the 1870s, right? So, or well,
Right.
actually, it would be the 1800s. Sorry, not the 1870s. It would have been the 1800s. So anything could have possibly happened, but it's interesting that they say that it was cursed. So, being that this is a paranormal podcast,
I mean,
drum roll,
any
please.
anything could. There you go.
Is it possible that the previous captains are haunting this ship, and that whoever then owned it after them, they were so angry that someone else owned their ship now that they wanted to sabotage it in some kind of way?
Well, that's possible. That's possible.
Ghosts work in mysterious ways. We all know that. They're able,
Sometimes they
if
just
they are that vengeful, they can just do whatever they want.
and if anybody knows anything about spirits, ghosts, energy, there are some out there that can be pretty vengeful.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep. Very
So
vengeful.
you know.
So, that segues into the next thing that I was going to say about the Mary Celeste before we potentially move on to the next ship, unless we have questions. Um, so after the Briggs and the crew disappeared, the Mary Celeste was still in operation until 1885. She ended
Which
up getting
was
a new captain who, however, they say he did this in order to get he was trying to attempt insurance fraud. However, going back to the curse thing, I find it very interesting because what it says is that her new captain in 1885, he deliberately wrecked her at the coast of Haiti as part of an attempted insurance fraud.
hmm.
Was he in his right mind, or wasn't he? Because
Or
again,
did
paranormal.
somebody a paranormal did another entity take over? And once again, we don't know. That's why it's called paranormal. We don't
Exactly.
know. We don't
So
have a. If we can't
this
explain
is
it, it must be paranormal. Although
right.
it could have been that sea monster that I have to be talking about too.
The Kraken just ready
Kraken.
to come up and just swallow somebody.
Yeah.
So there's that. That is literally the Mary Celeste. I'm telling you that it's very strange. So I would, if I'm going to be honest, if I had to go with what could have potentially happened, I'm going to say mutiny, or piracy, mutiny or piracy, because we have a very extensive what do you call it, like, theory of what would have happened with that. Um, Again, the entire family being able to escape with the crew, that's also viable, because of the pump being inoperative. However, I think because this is a paranormal podcast, I think it's very possible that the ship was cursed by the previous captains of it.
I concur. But then, could have been that sea monster too. What do you think,
Yeah.
Haley? What does
Sea
Haley
monster.
think?
What does Haley think?
Because what Haley thinks is important also.
Yes. So
What do
this
you
is
think
the
happened?
keep in mind, this is the Mary Celeste. This is one of 5 that we're talking about tonight. So
Right.
what's your opinion on this one in particular?
Do we still have Haley here with us?
Well, there's 3 of us in here, so, or whoever
Right.
wants to comment about it.
That could be a ghost. I don't know.
It could be a ghost, yeah.
I mean, we are talking paranormal. Last thing she said was that's always possible. So it's possible. So,
Okay, I'm gonna exit out of this one because
Raylene, are you here?
wait, no. She
Give us.
said, my
Oh,
opinion
wait a
is that
minute.
they could have been influenced by the spirits on the ship, like possession.
Well, that's possible.
That makes sense. That, yeah. So again, like
Could
cursed, you know.
cursed by one of the captains. That could have been possession. It could have, you know, one of the prior captains could have taken over say, the captain of the Mary Celeste, and
I mean,
sabotage it.
okay, here's a theory, because I mean, obviously we don't know. Here's a theory about the Mary Celeste, is that could one of the captains have taken over the current captain, Briggs, for example,
Isn't
right?
that what I just? Wait a minute. Hold on.
Is that
Isn't
what you're
that what I
saying?
just said? That's
Oh
what
no,
I just said.
I didn't know you were talking about Briggs himself, but I thought you were
Hi,
talking about like
Raylene.
one of the crew members, but
No,
I
no.
was
One of the
specifically talking about
previous
Briggs.
captains, could have taken over Captain Briggs and made him do
Made
whatever.
him do things that he normally wouldn't have done, and then maybe he was the one that took the lifeboat, because the lifeboat was missing. That is something else.
Right.
Is that the lifeboat was missing, so he could have taken it. And again, with the exposure, not having food, not having water,
Mm-hmm.
and he's left to drift out into God only knows where on this lifeboat, he could have
Right.
met the same fate as if it would have been if the crew and the family escaped together, or if the crew just escaped.
Exactly.
So
We
there's
don't. Thing
another
is,
theory right there.
we'll never know. No,
Nope.
but I mean, we can only assume, and or we can come up with theories. Um, but you know, we don't really know. But it's fun to talk about it. It's one of the most talked about ghost ships. That it is.
Yep. This is probably, so it said, oh, here's a little, I don't know if this is gonna be fun, but there's
Uh
a little bit of history about the, not history, but there's a little bit of modernness brought into this story, is that
sorry.
the story of her abandonment in 19, not 19, in 1872 has been recounted and dramatized many times in documentaries, novels, plays, and films. And the name of the ship has become a byword for unexplained desertion. So this particular ship has been used several times in movies and stuff. And there's one movie in particular that I have a funny feeling that probably deals with this ship in particular, which is called Ghost Ship. It's one of my favorite horror movies.
Most
Um,
likely.
but they use, in that movie, I believe they use the theory of the Bermuda Triangle.
Right.
I'm pretty sure is what they do. But there's Bermuda Triangle, and I believe also piracy and mutiny. They kind of throw all of the theories into one, but I do remember the Bermuda Triangle for some reason being like a
Right.
major pinpoint for that one. But
The Bermuda Triangle is always a part of something. Seems like
always, well, because it's unexplained.
only 90 miles off of Florida.
The
I mean, well, it
I
touches
mean,
Florida.
a theory that they have is that Atlantis is in the Bermuda Triangle.
Hmm.
So I mean,
We don't know.
you know what I mean?
I know that
It's
one of
a
the
paranormal thing.
tips. I know one of the tips of the triangle touches Florida.
Yes,
So,
which is another reason why I will never go back.
well, I won't go back because it's too damn hot. So, I'm just going to stand on that one.
Right.
Okay, so the next one
So that was the Mary
is
Celeste.
is the most to me. It is a very infamous ship. I have spent most of my life researching it, learning about it. Um, heck, I'll even say it. I think honestly that I'm reincarnated, and I honestly think I might have died on this ship, and that would be the RMS Titanic. Now, people say it wasn't a ghost ship. Well, we don't know that. The site where it now sits, 2.5 miles down, um, I'm going to say that area has probably got some uneasy energy um, from that night, that awful night in April of 1912. You had all kinds of people. You had the wealthy people on the upper deck. You had your second class, and then you had your steerage. Now we all know steerage. Well, those were the those were the poor people wanting to come to America to start a new life for themselves. So they gave up anything and everything they had just to get a ticket on the Titanic to come to America. So, I mean, is it possible the area where it went down is haunted? I believe it is. Um, I've also read that some of the artifacts that they have recovered from the Titanic that are now in different museums around the country, um, people have said they've seen and heard things that, you know, they think that the items are haunted. And I mean, as a paranormal investigator, I wholeheartedly believe that there are some items out there that we love so much in life, we become attached to them in death. So, is that possible that some of those items are haunted? Of course they are, because some of those items were all these people had left in the world. So, it makes sense that they could, the items could be haunted. Um, I know that there have been reports of ghostly signals, crews on submarines exploring the wreck site have reported strange signals and interference with their radios, reports of hearing the ship's distress signal, an SOS. Um, what's what I thought was ironic when I picked this ship as a haunted ship. Um, I was talking to my son, who had uh, recently, within the past couple of years, year whatever, he had taken a cruise to, I believe he went to Ireland or Scotland, one of those, and of course they passed right over where the Titanic sank,
Right.
and he's talking to me and he's saying, "Well, I don't think it's haunted. The area would be haunted." And then he went, "Well, wait a minute. Now that I remember," he said, "we did have to divert our trip a little bit so that a helicopter could come and get two of the passengers that had gotten extremely ill on the ship." Is that possible that, when they passed over that area, it made these passengers sick? Well, we don't know this, but it's
Nope.
possible.
Anything's possible. When it comes to the
Anything's
paranormal,
possible.
anything's possible, especially if you believe in it. So, the thing about this podcast, for one, is that we don't try to convince you of spirits or anything like that. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. That is the thing. You're free to make your own decision if you think ghosts exist, if you think God exists, if you think the devil exists. This is all for you to decide.
You
We are
think
just
sea monsters exist? Mhm.
they do exist, excuse you, sharks. Um, but
I was talking about big krakens.
Krakens, yes, that exists too. Anyway, moving on. Jormungandr also exists. Okay. Um, so what was I saying? So this isn't to like
We
try and
don't
convince you
judge.
that the paranormal exists. It's just that we are bringing you stuff that is considered quote unquote paranormal because it can't be explained. What we
Exactly.
believe, just because we believe that it's paranormal, doesn't mean that you have to. If you have a logical explanation for it, then so be it. But for us, we're just bringing you the information. It's absolutely possible. I lived in a haunted house for 7.5 years, and we had a lot of activity in that house. See,
I live in a haunted house right now. Well, it's not a house; it's an
it's an apartment.
apartment. Yeah. There's my well, my wife is here. Angel's still here, and Mrs. Griffin is still here downstairs. She likes to come up and visit every now and again. Um, you know, I'm not saying it there's not ghosts because I've met a few of them.
Right.
Yeah.
So Mama was talking about the actual ship and like the area, the general area that could be potentially haunted. I wanted to also talk about. So I found something interesting about Captain Edward Smith, he was the captain, obviously, of Titanic. And apparently, there's been sightings of his ghost, as well as there's been sightings of at the Titanic Museum, because there is an actual museum for the Titanic where they put the things that they brought up from the Titanic. Bad on them. They should just leave that shit alone. In my sorry. They should leave that stuff alone because, again, it there are things that people can attach themselves to. Spirits can attach themselves to, especially if it's personal, like extremely personal to them. So,
Hmm.
talking about the museum real quick is that it's home of personal items and artifacts from the ship, carrying the energy of those who lost their lives that fateful day. Um, with that being said, there have been several sightings around the museum because of those artifacts. However, one thing that I found is that there's a home in Britain that's been gaining notoriety lately for the increased sightings of Captain Edward Smith, who used to call the two-bedroom home during his childhood.
So it was his childhood home.
Yes.
Okay.
So what it says is that now the owners are looking to ship out, but are having problems scaring up a buyer who isn't spooked by the fact that the Titanic Captain Edward Smith's ghost lives there.
I don't
So
mean to
apparently,
laugh, but you said scaring up a buyer.
yeah, that's what this says. Um, it was a mix of good and bad. No, we don't like that.
Always say no bad energy allowed. All positive energy is welcome around me. No bad energy is welcome. It must leave, and it'll go. Hopefully. Go ahead.
So apparently he's not. I don't know what's going on yet. Well, I mean, I do kind of know what's going on, but anyway, apparently he is not happy with people living in his childhood home. So
Well,
these particular owners are trying to get out, but they obviously have to disclose if there's any type of activity. So if you don't know when you're buying a house, you have to tell people.
no, no. Depends on the states.
Oh
Well,
well, yeah, I guess it depends on the
like our
state, but
state here, unless
your
you ask, you walk into a house and say, "Is this a haunted house?" It does not have to be disclosed.
okay, well,
Just like death, it does. You don't have to disclose it unless the realtor doesn't have to disclose it unless you ask. I mean,
that is
but I'm the
ridiculous.
type of person I would go into a house and say, "Anybody died here? Is it haunted? I need to know these things."
That's ridiculous because those two things should be mandatory because that type of stuff does scare people. So
Doesn't scare me,
usually,
but
I don't know. Apparently, there's some states that don't do it, but usually you have realtors that will tell you, obviously, in this particular state, or no, excuse me, this is Britain. So, obviously, in Britain, they are required to tell people that there's paranormal activity and if someone has died in the house.
Okay. And
So,
like I said,
apparently,
it depends on the place where you live.
there they are required to tell it, and that is why they are having a particularly hard time selling this
Selling it.
house.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So,
Sorry.
um,
So yeah, going back to what I was saying about like passengers passing over. One of the thing is that I did find out is it said uh, that crews and passengers who pass over the area have described overwhelming senses of, you know, the dead and the unease. You know, they feel it, and so basically, when my son said that the two passengers had to be removed, it's possible that they did become ill because of, you know, the feelings of passing over the area where the Titanic sank. They've also had unexplained orbs, and if anyone knows what orbs are, to me, I honestly believe orbs are the energy we leave behind when we die. Energy can't be destroyed, so it stays behind. And I honestly believe orbs, when you see orbs, those are our energy that's still left here.
mm. Okay, so also keep in mind that the reason that these people in particular would probably be having any type of activity at all over this certain area is that 4 days, obviously 4 days into the Titanic's journey, it struck the iceberg
Mhm.
and it sank within 2.5 hours. Keep in mind that on this ship, the amount of people that did die in that tragedy was 1,500 people.
Over 1,500.
Well, I'm going by the from what the article I found is that it says
Right,
1,500 passengers went to their deaths that night or that
right.
morning. Sorry, that morning because it was that morning
Yeah,
that
it was an early morning. Yeah,
so that way there's going to be a lot of energy there for these people to be affected. Also, keep in mind that water is a conduit for
yep.
spirits. They're
Yes,
able
it
to
is.
move and get their energy from it a lot easier. And then if you're going to be flying through with, like, let's say a plane or sailing through with a ship, people are going to have electronics. The
Yep,
ship itself or the plane itself is going to have electronics. They're going to also have energy from that. So people are going to this is a way for ghosts to interact with you, spirits to
yes, it
interact
is.
with you. Is it
Yes,
possible that some of those 1,500 or more, we'll say 1,500 or more, because I have exactly 1,500 here.
right.
Is it possible that some of these 1,500 or more spirits are able to find ways to communicate as these things are passing over? And are they making people sick? It is absolutely possible, yes.
Then we've got to add to those 1,500 people. Now we have to add the people of the Titan that exploded over the Titanic wreckage
Yes.
site,
Who were not
because
expecting it to
they
happen,
were not
even though,
expecting that happen.
no,
So that was tragic. I mean, when people die a tragic death, which is usually a tragic, unforeseen death,
yes.
okay, it kind of, how do I explain? It can keep them in limbo where
It taints the area.
they can't pass on because they don't realize I'm dead. Some of them may, but then some of them may not realize they're dead and they're not, you know, they can still see, say us, but we can't see them. And so it's hard for them. Spirits get confused too, just like we do as living people. We get confused.
Hmm.
I was confused earlier about the, you know, setting up the podcast here, you know, the stream. I'm like, Axe is like, you went live without me? I'm like, no. When? Where?
Yeah, that was a whole.
so so
Um,
kind of think of a spirit, you know, the same way. And now you had the Titanic that was a graveyard, a massive graveyard of at least 1,500 people. Okay. Then you have, I wouldn't I mean, come on. As a spirit, when I die, I'm going to be able to go anywhere I want to. Okay. So I'm going to travel around. Maybe I'm going to go back and, you know, be with my loved ones that passed before me. Okay. So what about the ones that did live? They've now died. How do we know they're not there with their loved ones they lost that day? We don't. So you may have even more than the 1,500 and how
Mhm.
many ever were on the Titan when it exploded in 2023.
Keep in mind also that when we're talking about confusion, a perfect example of this, and again, the best way to give examples is usually by using movie references, right? Because that's uh, a lot of people watch movies. So to compare to something, compare it to a movie. A great example of a ghost being confused that they are dead would be the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze.
Very
He did
much
not
so.
realize at first that he was dead
Nope.
until after he turned, because remember, his ghost chased the guy that he thought was just trying to rob them away.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out, when he comes back, he sees that he's shot and he's like, what happened? And then he dies and he realizes, I am a dead man, I am dead.
Mm-hmm.
So not every ghost gets a chance to have that realization. They just, what they're seeing is, I'm here, nobody sees me. It's like I'm around a bunch of blind people, but they're walking around just fine. Why
I can
can't they
see
see
them,
me?
but they can't see me.
What's going on? And they unfortunately, because they don't know what happened, they don't get that realization. So they are literally stuck in this limbo until they're able to somehow either come to terms with it, however they manage to come to terms with it and move on, or they're stuck there forever.
Until somebody, such as myself, my team, comes along and tries to cross them over. Because, you know, we've done that too. Axe and Angel and a couple other people that were part of our team. I mean, we have crossed over, you know, spirits that were trapped. And it's hard because when you die a unexpected, tragic, horrific death, it can you can get stuck
Hmm.
and not know where to go.
And then, as Mama was saying, with spirits and being able to just go anywhere, like she had explained that the survivors of the Titanic, once they had passed on, maybe they went back to be with their loved ones that probably couldn't make it off the ship. Uh, as I was saying, I was talking about Edward Smith, Captain Edward Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another example of ghosts not necessarily being tied to where they died.
Mm-hmm.
Because Captain Smith, he he is appearing as a full-bodied apparition in his childhood home. Uh, that's one of the sightings that the current owners have been going through, is that they keep seeing his full body, him. They can see him clearly as if he was actually there. That's in Britain. Keep in mind that his childhood home is in Britain. A mariner, a retired mariner in Baltimore, Maryland, has seen the captain walking around his city, that Captain Edward Smith walking around that city for at least 17 years.
Mm-hmm. Because he probably, you know, we don't know. I mean, I'm
Another
sure we
person,
could
wait, hold
research
on,
it.
we're not done yet. We're not done yet, because besides Maryland and Britain, he has photobombed people's photos as an apparition in Belfast.
Where he set sail with the Titanic.
Yes. So he
And
is literally everywhere.
well,
His spirit has been seen everywhere.
because you're not bound to just one. I mean, your grandmother, my mom, when she passed, I left her in Michigan, you know, and I came back to New Hampshire,
Hmm.
and she had a message. She wanted, you know, she wanted me to do what she wanted me to do, find my
Hmm.
oldest sister, and you know, I didn't listen. You know,
Shame
I
on you.
was that unruly child, even in my 40s, And for 2 weeks, I didn't listen. And every night, she came and sat on the bed and woke myself and an angel up and was like, "You need to find your sister and do what I asked you to do." And she did this for probably about 2 weeks until Angel said, "You need to find your sister and give her the
High five.
message because I'm tired of your mother waking me up in the morning, in the middle of the night." So the moment I did what my mother wanted me to do as a spirit, once I did that, she didn't come and bother me and wake me up anymore because she just wanted that message, passed on. And sometimes when spirits do haunt us, that's all they really want is they want to get one last message across to somebody. So, you know, is
I
it
just find
possible
it
that's
interesting that ghosts are able to travel so far. And a theory that I have as to why he's able to visit all of these places, Edward Smith in particular, is that as a captain,
high tie?
he probably went to all of these different places at some point.
Right. And the thing is, he was getting, I mean, after uh, the story goes, and like I said, I wasn't alive in 1912 either, I don't think. But um, he was to sail the Titanic to New York, and that was supposed to be his last voyage. He was
Hmm.
retiring. He didn't get to retire. He didn't get to, I don't know if he was married, I think he was, but he didn't get to retire and do all the things that we do, when we retire. Go here, there, and everywhere. So maybe he's doing it now.
Possibly. He has, so apparently he has a fancy for making things very cold, rooms very cold, and like, well, not just rooms, but like the area around you being extremely cold. Cold as an
Well,
iceberg is what people have said. I don't know
and
how
I
they
was
know
going to
what an
say,
iceberg feels like,
I
but
was going to
they
say,
claim it's it feels like an iceberg. But
yeah,
apparently
well,
he
that
has
makes
a
sense.
fancy for kitchens. He likes kitchens.
It makes sense that he would make it very cold. I mean, come on. He died in the Atlantic Ocean April 15th, 1912, during the iceberg run. So
Yes,
it was like dying in a giant glass of ice water.
basically.
So it being cold around him, the areas where he appears, it makes sense. He's going to make everybody feel the same cold he felt when he went down on the ship. And
Okay, so
it
experience,
was his job as the captain to go down with the ship.
right. So explain to me then why he has a fascination with kitchens.
The refrigerator's there. I'd go there myself. Let's see if I could find me a snack in the kitchen.
Okay. He's hungry. All right. Makes sense.
I'm
Makes
just
sense.
saying. Why else go to the kitchen? Anybody else got any ideas why you go to the kitchen?
I don't know.
I mean, it works for me. Maybe some cookies and milk. Who knows?
I don't think they had cookies and milk back then.
I don't know if they did either, but yeah, they had cookies and they had cows, so they had milk. Really?
Fine,
Wow.
fine.
Wow, Axe. I mean, we
I
didn't
don't know.
just,
No, what I meant by I don't know if
maybe we
dunking your
milked sea
cookies and milk was
monsters.
a
I don't
thing.
know. Jeez. I mean, we didn't have Oreo cookies like I like, but I mean, there was cookies and milk. I guarantee it.
Excuse me.
I mean, I'm not that old. Let's ask somebody that we know is old. Okay, maybe not.
Well, who are you going to ask then?
I ain't gonna.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get in trouble.
Exactly. Watch yourself.
I,
All right.
I didn't say anything.
I think we spent 30 minutes per ship, like on each ship so far. Jesus.
Okay, so let's
That's not
move
bad. That's
on.
not bad.
Let's move on. We will move on. The next one is the RMS Queen Mary.
A lot of people have heard about this one.
Now, this ship is at this point in time. It's located in Long Beach, California.
Mm-hmm.
It was retired. Let's see, when did it get retired? Uh, 1967. Oh, I was 5 years old. Look at that. And it was a historic luxury liner. It's now a hotel, and it's famous for its paranormal activity on the ship. Um, yeah, because they use it for like ghost tours and different things like that. There have been many uh, sightings and unexplained voices from the the past in areas such as the engine room. Um, she's known best for her tragic history. Um, there was a I mean, she had numerous deaths because she was used during wartime also. So,
Which I want to get
but
into.
during World War II, she was used. There was a collision with her and another ship. I believe it was called the Karaka. Um, but the most infamous story, I guess you'd call it,
Infamous.
infamous, whatever, whatever.
I love you.
Infamous. Yes, I knew I was going to say that. I said that earlier today.
Yep.
Um, was an 18-year-old crew member. Okay, his name was John Petter, and he was crushed in 1966 in the watertight doors. I don't know if when the ship got hit, when it crashed into the Karaka, the HMS Karaka is what I have is it crashed into. They collided. Um, I guess when water started coming in, just like on the Titanic, it had the doors also that they close to protect other areas of the ship, and I guess he got crushed to death in one of the doors. So
Damn. Oh,
that's pretty
sorry.
hideous right there in itself, and that would definitely be a tragic, unforeseen death. Let's
Mm-hmm.
put it that way. I mean, when they
No
go
one
out to
expects to
war,
get crushed.
excuse me,
No one expects to get crushed.
yeah, nobody expects to get crushed to death in a door, but that's what happened to John. And I mean, they to this day, you can go to California to Long Beach. I think that's where it's at. Yeah, Long Beach, California, and you can spend the night on the Queen Mary if you
Oh
brave it.
no.
If you're brave enough,
Yep. Yep.
um,
Yep.
that's totally up to you if that's what you want to do. But I think what happens is when you have places that have a lot of tragic death, and obviously at least 100 sailors, crew members, whatever, died on the Queen Mary. Um, then you have a bunch of people that want to come in and maybe catch a ghost. You know, they sometimes they can be unkind with their
Mm-hmm.
words, and they can demand for ghosts. I demand you to show yourself.
Right.
Well, you know, as a person, a live person, I don't like people demanding me to do things. So why in the hell would I want to be demanded as a ghost to show myself? And so now I'm going to get a little upset. And you want me to show you something? I'm going to show you something. And then, of course, they're like, oh, I couldn't believe what it did. Well, you demanded
It
it to do
attacked
it.
me.
It scratched me or it did whatever. Well, dumbass, don't demand it to do things. And it won't.
That's crazy. I'm trying to
Treat,
watch my language, and here you are, just dropping bad
treat,
words.
treat it like it's part of your family. Would you treat your grandmammy like that?
Your grandmammy.
I'm just
No.
saying, would you? Would you treat
No.
your grandmammy like that? No, you wouldn't. You'd be respectful because she'd
Right.
take her damn slipper off and she'd smack you with it.
Right.
And you ain't going to say a damn thing if she smacks you with her slipper.
Nope.
because you deserved it. So why the heck you going to say anything if a ghost attacks you?
Exactly.
You you caused it. So people go
Absolutely.
on these. I refuse as a ghost, a ghost hunter, ghost investigator. I pride myself. I do not pay to go on ghost tours, um, because I think it's just a way to agitate spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I get called into enough places, or have in the past gotten called into enough places where I don't pay for it. I come in to help somebody if they have a misunderstanding about what's going on in their home or their business. You know, I would never go on one of these ghost tour things.
No,
I don't.
it's
I'm not
almost
saying
like an insult,
not
to be
saying you
honest.
can't. If that anybody out there listening that wants
Right.
to go on a ghost tour, if you want to do it, fine. But I don't think agitating the spirits is a good thing.
No.
They're with us. They're around us. You don't got to go there someplace at 3 o'clock in the morning to see what they're doing. Spirits are around us 24/7, 365 days a year, unless it's a leap year, and that's probably 364, I guess.
Six.
Oh,
366.
oh, excuse me, I lost a day. Sorry, but I'm not perfect.
I didn't say anything.
Um,
I'm just letting you get your stuff out so I can then
you know,
come
I
in with
just
my stuff.
I'm just saying that's how I feel about it. I think the Queen Mary. I don't think they should have ever built the second one, but everybody was like, "Oh, that's going to be a big mistake," and
Well, it's just like they were thinking about building the Titanic 2 or whatever it was called,
yeah,
and
they
that
never
didn't
did
work.
that one. They didn't
Or
do
they
that
did
one.
build it and things kept happening and it just didn't work.
No, no, no. They've only built three big giant. You had Olympus, the sister ships to Titanic. There was
Oh.
Olympus, and there was the Lusitania
Oh, okay.
and the Titanic. They were supposed to build one called Gigantic, but the Titanic sank, and they didn't build it.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay. Well,
so yeah.
so the research that I did, because Mama did hers, and obviously I did mine. So I think we kind of matched some research because I did find the thing about her being used in war. So I want to go back real quick to when she was first built. So
She's not talking about me. She's
no,
talking about Queen Mary.
the Queen
Okay,
Mary.
I just want to make sure we cleared
So
that up.
they labeled her as a colossal ship that was bigger, faster, and more powerful than the Titanic. It was an 1,000-foot
Hmm.
ship that was first plated around 1930 in Clyde, Scotland.
Yep.
The Great Depression, unfortunately, is what held up the construction of her because obviously during the Great Depression you weren't really able to do much.
You
So
weren't doing a
from
lot.
1931 to 1934, there wasn't much that they could do on her. However, by the time May 27th of 1936 got around, she made her first maiden voyage.
Yep.
Now,
British ocean liner.
for 3 years she was doing her typical ocean liner job as just being like a cruise ship essentially. So you would know some of these people, probably not all of them, but you would know some of these people as being the Duke and Duchess of Windsor that have sailed on her. We
Hmm.
have Greta Garbo, we have Clark Gable, we have David Niven, we have Mary Pickford, George and
Mary
Ira
Pickford.
Gershwin, Gershwin,
Gershwin.
and then we also have Sir Winston Churchill, which I'm sure we all freaking know.
Well, I didn't know him because I'm not that old, but okay.
No, we know of him. We know of him.
Yes, I know of.
So then, by the time World War II broke out in 1939, luxury travel was immediately ceased for obvious reasons. We had uh, on in water battling at that point with
Yes,
Japan,
we
with
did.
Germany, etc. So nobody was allowed to travel by water anymore. And it then went from being a cruise ship to a troops ship known as the Gray Ghost.
Hmm.
Now, during this time, her capacity was increased from 2,410 to about 50. Hold on, 5,500 people. That's usually what she would carry, is 2,410 to about 50. I can't say it, to
Whoa!
5,500 people.
Thank you.
By the time World War II came around, she was at that point carrying 800,000 troops. Okay, and then
Wow.
she was traveling more than 600,000 miles in the time that she was a troop ship. And then she played a significant role for every major Allied campaign. So, in every campaign that has been marked in history, she was most likely a part of it. However, she was known as the Gray Ghost at that time.
Right.
She also survived a collision at sea, set the record of carrying the most people on a floating vessel, 16,683, and participated in the D-Day invasion. Okay, so that is some of the history when it comes to World War II. However,
Mhm.
at the close of the war, the ship began to transport more than 2,200 war brides and their children to the United States and Canada. It was then known as the Bride and Baby Voyages. She made 13 of those voyages for this purpose in 1946. Okay, so that was some interesting information that I found. Now, with that
Right.
being said, uh, obviously during wartime you're going to have deaths and whatnot. And most likely there were deaths on that ship. Maybe
Hmm.
not from the war itself, not like from combat, I mean, but with 800,000 people on board, there's a
That's a
chance
lot of people.
for overpacking, there's a chance for disease,
Hmm.
famine, a
Yep.
lot of things to happen on that ship of 800,000 people. It doesn't necessarily mean that there at one time there was that many. It's just that
It
throughout the
carried
year,
throughout the
of
years. It carried that many.
it did carry that many. Keep in mind that this was a ship that was only meant for anywhere from 2,400 to 5,500 people usually. So
Hmm.
now you're going to have people stacked on top of each other. Okay.
Right.
From what I found on site over the past 60 years, the Queen Mary did have a reported of 49 deaths.
Yep.
49.
That's all they could. Yeah. Well, 49 to 50. They never did. They didn't keep good records, so they can't really say. But outside of the like I said, there were the 100 crewmen that died during wartime. We do know that.
Right.
But other than wartime, there was a total of anywhere from 49 to 50 other deaths, other noted deaths. But they
Right.
can't be sure if it was 49 or if it was 50, whatever.
Correct.
And
So
the other
then,
thing, what I
yeah.
missed out, I'm going to go back because you named some of the people that were on this that were pretty famous people, just like with the Titanic, and I didn't mention it then. I'll go back and bling it now. We know that the Macy's, uh, who were the owners that formed Macy's in New York, they died on the Titanic,
Hmm.
along with Astor, who was a very wealthy, individual, along with to be honest, I can't think of his name right offhand, and this is really bad because I guess I'm getting old, but the gentleman that designed the Titanic also died on it. So,
Andrews.
Andrews, yes,
Something
thank you.
Andrews. I can't think of
Yeah,
what his first name is.
but yes.
I don't censor myself.
Okay, Ty,
Quote
it's
unquote.
okay.
Yeah, that's to me. That's to me because I haven't said any bad words.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Go back, Axe. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention those people also had died on that ship, on the
Right.
Titanic.
While I was getting ready to come up to what you were talking about with the door crushing of the poor individual. So we're talking about Queen Mary's engine room at the moment. Stop laughing at me, Ty. So the engine room is located 50 feet below water level. Okay,
Hmm.
so that's keep in mind that's how big this ship was, both from lengthwise and height wise. That's how big this ship was. Um, and it is the hotbed, supposedly the hotbed for paranormal activity. Okay, so we're getting up to the point where Mama was talking about how a gentleman was crushed in between the two doors.
His name was
Again,
John.
we're going to use a this time a show as an example because they have used the Queen Mary in filming. They've actually filmed. It's not only for tours and stuff like that. They have actually filmed shows and stuff like that on this ship. Keep that in mind. So obviously that's going to kick up energy, the spirits and stuff like that as well.
Exactly.
Used in the filming of The Poseidon Adventure, the room's infamous Door 13 crushed at least 2 men to death at different points during the ship's history. During a routine watertight door drill in 1966, the most recent death crushed an 18-year-old crew member. Dressed
Yep.
in blue overalls and sporting a beard, the young man has often been spied walking the length of the shaft alley before disappearing by door 13, which is what he was crushed by.
Number 13. Unlucky as hell.
Yes.
You'll
So
never find the 13th floor on any elevator.
usually not, no. So the engine room is, they consider it the hottest place for paranormal activity on this ship. Now,
Yep.
does that mean that if you go to this place and you go on a ghost tour and
You're
you
gonna
try
see
and
him?
you go into the engine room and you hope to see something, does that mean that that's going to happen? No.
Nope.
Ghosts do not work on a schedule. If they want to be noticed, they're going to be noticed. If they don't want to be noticed, they won't be. Now,
Exactly.
with that also in mind, you have hauntings that are called residual hauntings. No. Yes, residual hauntings, which is
What have I
where
taught you?
residual hauntings is a haunting will happen no matter what, at the same time, at the same place, doing the same exact thing.
At the
So, for
same time, yeah.
example, if let's say in your home you have like a door a door into your house from the kitchen. We'll just use that as an example because I have that. So let's say from my kitchen door, I hear, let's say, the door opening, and then a sound come from the door over to, let's say, the refrigerator because, thirsty or
It's
something.
Mama T getting a snack.
Anyway, from the door to the refrigerator, and then let's say they go over to the sink, and then it just stops. And then the next day it does that again. And then the
That's
next day it
residual.
does it again. And that's all you're hearing from the door to the fridge to the sink. Door, fridge, sink. That is a residual haunting. That will happen no matter what at that specific time. Let's say it happens around like 2:30. That is a residual haunting that happens, and it will happen all the time. Now, is this gentleman that was crushed, what was his name? The 18-year-old crew member.
His name
Is that a
was
residual
John.
haunting, or is that something that's intelligent that just happens because he wants it to happen?
It's only
We don't
intelligent
know.
if he's interacting with you.
Not necessarily. He could just be trying to show you where he died.
And that if he's interacting with you, that's an intelligent haunt.
Well, yeah. But that doesn't
If he's-
necessarily mean
if
that
he's
that
like-
at the time was a
If he's
like
like
a
right there and he's
residual.
waving to you, he's trying to get you to follow him over to that door.
right.
I would say in that aspect, that is an intelligent haunting
Yes.
because he's interacting with you.
So another continuing on from door 13, another popular place for people to go for haunted spots and seeing otherworldly guests. I hate how they say that in this article, but that's how they put it. On the first and second class swimming pools, there have been 2 or more popular spots for otherworldly ghosts, is what they call it.
Yep.
In the first class swimming pool, it's been closed for more than 3 decades, this pool. Women have often appeared in the 1930s style swimming suits wandering the decks near the pool. Another report says that they have heard sounds of splashing and spied wet footprints leading to the deck to the changing rooms. Some have also spied the spirit of a young girl clutching a teddy bear.
Mhm.
That's on the first floor, or the first class pool room. In the second class pool room, the spirit of another girl named Jackie, I don't know why they specified Jackie, but they did, has often been seen and heard. Allegedly, the unfortunate girl drowned in the pool during the ship's sailing days and
Right.
reputedly refused to move on, as her voice and laughter have been captured over and over and over.
Right.
However, for whatever reason, this person named Cher Garman, she is an author and paranormal investigator, points out that there is no known drownings to have ever occurred on the ship, although she said Jackie is there. I don't know why she's trying to refute.
No,
Uh,
well, it's possible. This is the Queen Mary, okay, and you know to have another tragic death, such as the crew member that got crushed to death, but to have a guest, whether it be a child, a young, a teenager or a young adult, to die in a pool, that wouldn't have been something that the Queen Mary would have wanted divulged, and it's possible they tried to cover it up.
right.
So there was never any, you know, the police may have known or whatever if they contacted them, but as far as public knowledge, maybe it wasn't something that was public knowledge.
Mm.
They
Okay,
kept it
so
quiet.
then probably the freakiest one that I came across, because there's a couple hauntings that it talks about. The freakiest one that I probably came across, and again, I just want to say that I was playing a spooky game yesterday dealing with ghosts, so maybe that's why I'm feeling this type of way, but I still want to go to Jerome. Where is that? Or what is that, I should say. Um, but the freakiest one to me is that in the Queen Mary's salon on the first class lounge, there's supposedly a beautiful young woman in a elegant white evening gown, often seen dancing alone in the shadows of the corner of the room.
Oh,
That one kind of scares me. I'm not gonna lie,
no.
because I don't
Kind
know,
of makes me sad. She's dancing alone. She don't have a
or
partner.
maybe she was crazy in life and she likes to dance by herself.
Oh, you mean like me in the kitchen in the morning?
Yes, it's in Arizona.
Okay.
Is
Okay. Well,
so.
we need to move on from this. From that, we still have two more ships to go.
Well, yes, but I was gonna ask Ty, what is in Arizona, Jerome?
Jerome,
What like
Arizona.
like what hauntings, I should say, or what have you heard?
Well, while he's getting ready to tell us, why don't we move on to the next ship?
Yeah. Oh,
And
wait.
which
It's a
which
haunted
one?
hotel. Ooh.
Oh, oh, you looked it up.
No, no.
Oh,
He he
okay.
he wrote. He
Oh,
said haunted hotel.
okay. I've never heard of it. I don't guess.
Neither have I, but I'm gonna look into it. That
Maybe we'll talk about that next week. We'll
would be
check it
amazing.
out. Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Ty. We'll check it out. Most definitely.
Oh, it's like a haunted city in general.
Well,
Okay. Okay. Hold
okay.
on.
Sounds awesome. We'll check that out. So are we ready to move on there, Axe?
See.
I don't want to get axed if I move on.
Oh my God. Stop it.
No pun intended.
Stop it. Stop it right
Okay.
now.
Okay. So which one do you want to talk about? We
We're
did.
talking about the Edmund Fitzgerald, because the other one I kind of just threw at you last minute. So
Yeah. Okay. So then we'll talk about the SS Edmunds Fitzgerald. Now, I know we have some young people in here, so they may not know about the
I am a
Edmunds
young
Fitzgerald.
people.
Yeah, I know you are, but you're my young people. So I probably mentioned it because this ship, it sank in the it
He goes,
sank
I'm old.
in one of the five Great Lakes, which was Lake Superior. Um, this ship was, oh, sheesh, what was it? I'm trying to remember here. What was it carrying? I can't remember. Anyway, it was carrying something from Wisconsin. It was taking it to Detroit, Michigan. Uh, it was sailing it. What the heck was it? I'm trying to remember what the heck it was carrying. Oh my God, I'm having a loss here.
Um, I don't have that here, so I don't know what it would have been
Well,
carrying.
it sank. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. The 729-foot freighter was en route from Superior, Wisconsin, to Detroit, Michigan, when she encountered a severe winter storm on Lake Superior. Okay,
Oh, that would
I
explain.
don't remember what she was carrying. Um, maybe cheese from Wisconsin. No, that was
That's
just a joke.
crazy.
I'm kidding. It wasn't cheese. It
That's
probably
crazy.
ore or something. I don't know. Um,
She was an iron freighter, is what this
okay,
says.
so
So was she? She could
she
have
was
possibly
carrying
been carrying
iron. She was
iron.
carrying ore. The crew, it had a crew of 29 men. And needless to say, all 29 men did uh, perish that night. She sank. In fact, there's a song out there by a guy named Gordon Lightfoot. He
Hmm.
sings about the Edmund Fitzgerald. Um, kind of tells the story.
Yep.
There's still many witnesses claiming to see the vessel even after her disappearance of sinking. They see her out there on Lake Superior sometimes, I guess. Um, I myself am from Michigan, so it was a big story um, that I knew about because, well, as I already stated, I was born in the '60s, and I believe she sank in 1975. To be honest,
Yes.
November 10th, 1975,
Yep.
is when she went down. To this day, um, the old Mariners Church in Detroit, it sounds its bells 29 times daily in remembrance of the lost crew of the Edmunds Fitzgerald. So, I mean, I don't know how many of you have ever seen any of the Great Lakes. Um, Axe recently, a few years ago, she got to see one of the Great Lakes, which was Lake Erie, and she was amazed by it because it doesn't look like a lake,
Nope.
does it?
No. It's way too
It
big.
it it's
Way too
it's
big.
huge. It's wide, and it looks like it could be an ocean, but it's honestly it's just a lake. Surrounds Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois. They're surrounded by the lakes, and they're pretty massive lakes, and
Yep.
that's basically how states such as Michigan, Ohio, Wisconsin, Idaho, or not Idaho, but Iowa. This is how they get ships in from the ocean. Is they're able to come in from the Atlantic side, and they can maneuver through the Great Lakes to get to the ports that surround those big cities, those big states, to get the merchandise that they're transporting in. Um, so I mean, I remember in 1975, I was only a kid. Well, to be honest, I was a teenager by then. Whatever.
Still a kid.
I was like 13. Oh my God, I was that 13-year-old I'm still today. Oh, I am. I'm only 13 today. My body's the only thing that's gotten older. My mind is still 13. Okay,
uh,
but yeah, I mean, once again, people have seen sightings of the Edmunds Fitzgerald. So
hmm
who am I to deny that there's not a ghost ship out there? I'm sure there's other ghost ships out there.
Wait, are they
Many of,
saying that they see the actual ship, like the ship itself?
yeah, that's
Oh
what
God.
it stated that they have that many witnesses have claimed to see the vessel even after her disappearance. So yeah, they're seeing the vessel.
God damn. Oh.
So there she went. Yeah, she did it. We
There
heard
goes
her
the
time.
streak at 84 minutes.
Yeah, she almost made it. So I'm
You're
gonna let you.
14, really? It says you're 14.
I'm 14 now. Oh, jeez. Wait a minute? Did I get a birthday cake?
No.
Oh, damn it! I guess I'm gonna have to go to the refrigerator.
Okay, so that
Anyway,
is
so the
the.
last
Oh,
one,
yes.
I am gonna let X.
No, 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 no. I
No,
have
no,
not. No, we are
no.
not done with the Fitzgerald.
Oh,
Excuse me.
okay.
I
You
have
still got
information
more on the
here.
Fitzgerald.
I
Yeah,
haven't even talked yet about it.
Raylene threw me, making me 14. At least
My
I'm not.
goodness.
At least I'm
All
not
right.
16 yet.
So so I found a little bit of history about the Fitzgerald. Not only was there a song made for it, but apparently it inspired a fragrance called Fitz in
Called
Chicago.
what?
Fitz,
Fitz?
Fitz, Fitz.
I never heard of it.
Probably because it's not like it's not used
It
that
was
much, but
wasn't a
it
good
was one of
cologne.
their very first fragrances that they made based on the anniversary of the Fitzgerald sinking.
This is going to be really bad.
What?
Did Fitz sink
You are terrible. Be quiet.
as a cologne?
Just be quiet.
I'm just asking.
Sit there and be quiet.
Okay.
All right. So as Mama said, it was this ship in particular was I'm 42. That's crazy.
I got kids your age.
That he is not that old. Anyways,
I got a daughter that's 43.
he's not that old. Oh my
Okay.
god. So as Mama was saying, that this is a ship that was a Great Lakes freighter, so it did do a lot of transporting around
From
a number of
port to
states.
port.
What I found is that to this date, she is still the largest freighter that the Great Lakes has ever had.
729 foot.
Yes, they have not made another one or one bigger than
Nope.
her. So what I found is that she was in service for 17 years, carrying iron ore from mines of Duluth, Minnesota, to the ironworks in Detroit, Toledo, and other ports on the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I forgot about Minnesota. I'm sorry, Minnesota. If there's anybody out there from Minnesota, I forgot that one being on the Great Lakes.
I'm not exactly what this meant, but I decided to mention it. Is that it says the Fit set seasonal haul records 6 times, even breaking her own record. And the earlier captain Peter Polster was known for piping music day and night over the ship's intercom while the vessel passed through the St. Clair and Detroit rivers.
Say that real fast, though.
What
was his name? Peter what?
Peter Polster.
Peter Polster piping music through. Go ahead, say that real fast.
No. And then it says spectators would gather and eagerly await the ship, listening for the music. So I guess what that was, because there's a big thing about the Fitzgerald and music, is that he would play music when he was letting people know that he was coming into port.
Right.
I guess what they were trying to say. So then it proceeds on to what it talks about the night of its sinking. And it says, the ill-fated final voyage of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald began from Superior, Wisconsin, near Duluth, Minnesota, on the afternoon of November 9th, 1975, bound for a steel mill near Detroit. Another iron freighter, the SS Arthur M. Anderson, left from the same port around the same time, and the vessels were following one another on the hull. The next day, the 2 ships were caught in the treacherous Witch of November, as sailors call the notorious late autumn gulls of Lake Superior. Just after 7 o'clock in the evening, the captain of the Fitz radioed to the captain of the Anderson. He said that they were holding their own, and then the Edmund Fitzgerald sank. Talk about jinxing yourself.
Yep.
So I guess during that time they were keeping constant communication, because again, this is it's known as the Witch of November. So apparently the storm is really bad around this time. So they were keeping an eye on each other. The captains were, to make sure that they were okay. Unfortunately, it does not tell me exactly what had happened.
You didn't say anything about a distress call either.
No, that's the last thing, is that one of the things that's so mysterious about the Fitzgerald sinking was that the captain at the time, Ernest McScorley, had 44 years of experience as a mariner, but he did not send a distress signal.
Now talk about paranormal.
So apparently it says that he knew that the ship was in trouble. It was taking on water. The pumps were all going. The radars were out. There was damage to the top side. Without a doubt, it was one of the most troubled seas he had ever seen. And yet, at exactly 7:10 in the middle of the nightmare scenario, he radioed Captain Jesse Cooper of the Anderson that was all under control. Seconds later, the 729-foot Edmund Fitzgerald disappeared under the waves, taking it with the entire crew of 29 men. No one had ever been seen again.
And see, what people don't understand is, we all know about the waves that the ocean can, pull up, because of, the seas and the storms that the ocean can have. But those Great Lakes are just as dangerous, because they're so big, and like I said, when you look at them, when you're standing there on the beach of Lake Michigan and you're looking out, you don't see land because it's so far away. It looks like you're standing like me when I go to Hampton Beach and I'm standing on Hampton Beach looking at the Atlantic Ocean. To me, there's not a heck of a lot of difference. You know, it's they're big. They're not just this little lake that you can see the other side over there or you can see the other side over here. That's not how it is. You're literally you can see the horizon, you don't see land.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're in the middle of the one of the Great Lakes, the Lake Superior, and a storm comes up with big waves. Now think of how big that wave had to be to literally cover and take down a 729-foot freighter.
Right.
Now that's bigger. If I'm correct, and I may be wrong, I'm pretty sure that's bigger than the football field.
Yes, I think I'm pretty sure.
Because I think
So,
the football
oh,
field's only like 500 and some odd feet.
yes, around
Well,
there, something like.
that was a massive wave.
Yep. So, I have found research that says that people believe that the Fitzgerald was cursed.
Well,
Um, because so what I found is that the wife of the ship's namesake, Elizabeth Fitzgerald, on the day that the ship was completed and it was ready to set sail, she tried to christen it with a champagne bottle by breaking it on the bow, which is a traditional thing to
that
do
is
when a ship
that
has
is how
been
you do
made
it.
and you're ready for it to
Person.
set sail. It's
Mhm.
it's a traditional gesture of christening the Fitz, is what it was called.
Right.
It took 3 attempts to break the bottle, which was already a sign of bad luck.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So they're trying to say it. And then there was also delays with it trying to travel out, with the fact that this it said that the shipyard crew struggled with the keel blocks that would free the ship to launch.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up
That's,
launching sideways, creating a huge wave that doused the spectators with freezing water.
yeah, that's the blocks that I don't know if anybody's ever seen one, but they have it up on like it. I don't want to say it's a dry dock, but I guess it could be considered a dry dock. And these big wedges are holding it there so it doesn't move into the water. So then they remove the wedges, and when they remove these wedges, it slides backwards and it goes into the water.
Right. So what it says is that after splashing some of the spectators, according to legend, one of them died of a heart attack from this shock of the temperature of the water,
Yeah.
which makes sense. But it says finally the ship crashed into the pier before stabilizing itself. Before righting itself. So it hit the pier where the people were, and then it righted itself. What witnesses say, supposedly, is that the ship itself was trying to climb out of the water as if it didn't want to be there. That is one of the theories, that the ship itself was cursed.
What is Ty saying here? Face
It,
paint drinking tea? What's that?
it's just an emoji. I think it's just like tea.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, basically, this is tea. Like you're getting tea, right?
Oh, I'm not
Um,
drinking tea. If he's asking me, I'm drinking coffee.
no.
Mm-hmm. That's coffee.
So, so some things that I'm going to personally debunk because it just doesn't make sense is that, because as much as I like my aliens and stuff, as much as I like my aliens, don't get me wrong, they're trying to say that this was the like modern, I'm going to say modern theories about this particular ship is that it was somehow cursed by UFO sightings and other aircraft carriers, meaning they're talking about aliens here. And that just does not make sense to me. This is a modern theory that they have. And personally, for me, I will debunk it as not making any sense.
Okay.
Because I don't know what a alien would get from
Sinking a ship.
sabotaging a ship that was just carrying ore to another location. It
Yeah,
doesn't make
but
any sense to me.
maybe it was a kraken.
It didn't say anything about sea creatures. It literally said
It just
aircraft.
said a big. It said a big wave took it. Yeah,
No, 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 no,
that's
no. It created the big wave itself when they were
oh
trying to put it into the water. So what it
no, I'm
did
talking
was
about
is
when it
that
sank.
oh, when it
The
sank.
other
Oh yeah.
captain.
No, that would be from no the that would be from the storm that was happening because of the gulls. It literally would have kicked up that much water, and it, bloop, you know,
Okay.
would go.
Well,
I don't think that I
I
don't.
don't think it was aliens. If anything, it would have been a curse.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, because I do know, Michigan, and this was in 1975 that the Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior. I also know that during the Civil War, uh, other ships sank in those Great Lakes also, amongst other wars that took place here in America, um, where they came in through those waterways. Um, so, is it possible it's spirits that took the Edmund Fitzgerald? Once again, we don't know. Anything's possible.
well, I keep coming across the same thing that I was talking about earlier, the Witch of November. And
There's
apparently
a
what this
witch.
is saying is that there was a spell. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is another modern theory
Okay.
that they're using.
There's a
And they keep
curse.
mentioning the Witch of November. And going back to talking about the curse, the captain acted very strange. He knew that there was trouble, but when he radioed the other captain, he said everything was fine. 10 minutes later, they went under.
Was
And he killed the
he?
men too. He killed his men
Yeah.
too by going under,
Was
letting the ship
he?
sink.
Was he spellbound? That's a
That's what
good
I'm
word.
saying, is that the dauntless men fell under the spell of the Witch of November that fateful year, never to be
Exactly.
released.
And so you know, it's possible that they were cursed. They fell under a spell by a witch. We all know witches. Some witches, not all witches, because I'm gonna be honest. We need to make it clear. Not all witches are bad. It's just like all people aren't bad.
Hmm.
We choose to do good. Some choose to do bad. Well, the same thing with witches. You have good witches and you have bad witches. And I'm not talking about the ones from the Wizard of Oz. I'm just saying some choose to practice darker witchcraft than other witches.
Right.
And I'm going to say that because my wife, Angel, was a witch, but she wasn't a bad witch. She
No.
knew what she could do and she knew what she couldn't do. So
Correct.
I want to put that out there.
So I'm just gonna assume that somebody at some point, the Witch of November, that somebody did some type of spell for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
and it bewitched the captain, and that's what
Okay.
happened. Because otherwise, it makes no sense as to why he would be under so much trouble and then say to the other captain
Fine.
while it's happening, everything is okay, and then suddenly the ship sinks.
Right.
And then that ship that he was radioing that left the port at the same time, they were okay. A-okay.
Yeah. They
Nothing
they
happened to them.
they were in the same storm, but they came across. I mean, they would have had to have been in the same storm.
Yes.
It said that one was following the other.
Yes.
So it makes no sense that the storm only took one ship and not both ships.
Exactly.
And the other captain never said anything about, uh, you know, being hit with a wave or anything like that.
Mm.
So
This is an interesting one. I kind of like this. This one's right up here. For me, this one's right up here with the Mary Celeste, if I'm going to be honest.
it's a mystery.
It is. It's peculiar. There we go.
That's
Because it's
why.
not.
Well, that's why we picked these. It
It
turned out
doesn't
to
make
be
sense as to why
five,
it happened.
but it was only supposed to be four. But that's why we picked the five
We can thank
first
Kit for
ships we
this one.
did.
The
Okay, well,
yeah, we can thank Kit for this
let's
last
let's
one.
move on to this last one because
Yes.
it's getting close there, and I'm going to let you take this one because honestly, I mean, we still don't know if this is just a you know made up story
I
or
don't think it is.
if this is a true um, ghost ship that a ship that met its fate out there. So we'll let you take it away, Axe.
Okay, so the next ship we're going to talk about was brought to my attention. I didn't even know that it was a real ship. So, first of all, if anybody plays video games, scary games, this ship in particular is mentioned in the Dark Pictures anthology Man of Medan video game. This ship that we're going to talk about is called the Orang Medan,
The
which is,
SS.
yes, the SS Orang Medan, which is a God, that cat scared me. I saw something crawling out of the corner of my eye. Jeez. Which is I'm pretty sure that I read that it was a Dutch ship. I'm pretty sure.
It says this infamous ghost ship legend tales of a vessel found adrift with its crew dead
Yes.
and their
So
faces contorted.
why you gotta jump the gun like that, bro? No, I'm kidding. Okay. Oh, here it is.
Because we
Yeah.
got to put some spook in Spooktober here.
Okay. So yes, it was. So the SS Orang Medan is a Dutch vessel. I did find that. I did just
It's
find that. So
Deutsch. It's a
what it
Deutsch vessel.
says is that nothing seems to satisfy our spooky cravings more than a tale of a mysterious shipwreck, bits and pieces of stories, and rumors floating amidst memories and imagination like bits of timber drifting aimlessly until they sink or are washed ashore, is what they say as an opening to talking about the Orang Medan. Um, so apparently, this particular ship has captured the interest of ghost researchers, internet browsers, and self proclaimed detectives for many, many years. Even government officials have commented on this tragedy, an air of secrecy constantly clouding the truth, like the murky waters where the SS Orang Medan now lies. Okay, so it does say that this is again another mysterious one. There are no concrete leads that can actually sum up what actually happened. People speculate alien tech, pirates, ghosts from the ocean seeking vengeance. We get to make up our own mind per usual when it comes to something like this.
Well,
So
and the thing is, you also gotta remember that ships. Then this took place in 1940.
no, 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 no,
So
no, 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 no. There is no set time. They just know it was the 1940s, the summertime heat of 1940s. They
that's
do
what I
not know.
just said. It took place in the 1940s.
That is not what you said. You said 1940.
1940s.
That's not what I heard. That is not what you said.
Whatever.
I heard you. I was listening.
So I mean, you got to understand. If I can finish here,
Yes.
that in these time periods, okay, we had a lot of bootlegging ships, okay? And when I say bootlegging, I'm not just talking about alcohol, okay? Um, but alcohol was a big thing that they did try to, transport from by ship to here to there and everywhere where places weren't supposed to have alcohol. But a lot of different things, such as they
Holy
could have
shit.
been, they could,
Sorry.
outside of the one ship that we talked about, the Mary Celeste, where it was transporting the industrial alcohol. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
um, this one they they mentioned that it could have been transporting potassium cyanide.
No, no, no. You're
Okay,
jumping ahead. You're jumping ahead.
I'm just saying it could have been this type of thing. They transported illegal stuff. A lot of these ships did, and this could have been one of those ships that were transporting illegal stuff. So go on.
Right. So, I'm literally reading to you right now a transcript of something that happened on the ship. So, what it says is the The demise of the SS Orang Medan, a Dutch vessel, is said to have occurred in the summertime of the 1940s. The precise year remains unknown. So it says, legend tells that the ship was passing through the Strait of Malacca, where numerous ships received a chilling distress call in Morse code from the SS Orang Medan. The call stated, all officers, including captain, dead, lying in chart room on the bridge, probably the whole crew dead. The call was followed by one more frenzied message and one final statement, I die. The horrifying message was received by the Silver Star, an American ship that found itself closest to the location of the Medan. The Silver Star's captain agreed to find the ship and offer help to those on board. As the Silver Star approached the SS Orang Medan, a horrific scene awaited them. They boarded the ship, and after receiving an SOS, they thought they would come upon at least one survivor. However, after a short investigation, they realized that there were no lives to save. The Silver Star's captain tried to tow the SS Orang Medan to a port where a fire broke out on board. An explosion was so intense that it caused the SS Orang Medan to lift from the ocean surface and then quickly sink, the sea claiming all evidence that could have ever told the tale of what happened that day.
And now, the thing is, I mentioned it earlier. When this crew of the Silver Star went on to the ship and seen the horrific uh, picture that they seen, which were everybody dead, these people, even the dog, okay, their faces were distorted like.
Oh, here you go. I can tell you exactly what they said that they saw.
Go ahead.
The rescue crew described the bodies as having bulging eyes with terrified expressions on their faces. Their mouths were wide open, their arms outstretched as if they were reaching for something. None of them showed apparent injuries that could have been attributed to their deaths. It is reported that they were found with teeth bared, faces turned upwards towards the sun, staring. Even the ship's resident dog was found dead, frozen mid-growl. Some rescuers reported a cold chill on board despite the midsummer temperatures.
Now, like I said earlier, and this is my theory, I honestly think that they were carrying potassium cyanide. Now, we all know cyanide will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It can form a gas. Now, whereas the potassium cyanide gas could have caused the crew to convulse and distort their faces and everything, it would not have caused the explosion. But what people don't understand is when water touches or moisture gets into potassium cyanide, now it turns into hydrogen, not peroxide, potassium cyanide. It turns into hydrogen cyanide, which is very explosive. So you had the crew of the Silver Star that was attempting to tow the boat with that movement, if there was any moisture near that stuff, that in itself could have caused the explosion of the ship. So, just that's my theory.
Well, it's not just
it was a curse.
It's not just your theory, because according to a German publication, Das Torsten der Sensi suggests that I don't know if you came across this, but it suggests that
you're talking Chinese or something to me.
That was German.
Say that again.
Das Todesstrafen der Sensi.
Oh, okay. So you were talking in a foreign language.
Yes, that's German. That's the publication. That's a German publication.
I didn't know.
It's so I don't know. As I said, I don't know if you came across this. It does mention the potassium cyanide. However, it also suggests that potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin were stored and transported by the SS Orang Medan and were on board at the time of the event. If this is true, it would undoubtedly lend reason to the ship's sudden destruction and proof of a cover-up of the vessel's records. During this time, World War II. So here we go. This is another thing that was interesting. Was during this time, World War II was in full swing, and alongside a tense international climate, Any news of the transport of sudden chemicals would have caused panic and outrage.
Exactly. Especially if one side or the other, like I said, in the form of potassium cyanide, it was not explosive, but it could put off a deadly gas that
Mm-hmm.
would kill you. Okay, in its second form, as water or moisture hits it, now it changes its compound and it becomes hydrogen cyanide, which is very explosive. And well, we all know that in World War II, we all remember the hydrogen bomb, do we not?
Yep.
Okay, so it could have
There's
been, how did they build that? You know,
so there's two theories that I came across in my research. So one says a government cover up.
yeah,
And it
I
says
agree.
this theory lends to the credit of hundreds of government cover up theories circulating online about this ship in particular.
Right,
It says to the outside world, the Orang Madan never existed because there isn't any concrete evidence of its existence. It's almost as if the ship itself was a ghost. The logs of the Silver Star omit any records of the SS Orang Madan rescue attempt. No crew members of the Silver Star ever shared any relevant information with the media.
right.
It also says that uh, if the Orang Madan never existed, why did the Coast Guard reference the story in 1954 and later the CIA in 1959?
Exactly.
That's the thing. That they're trying to say that the ship never existed. However, not only would a Coast Guard mention it, but why in the world would a CIA member or even members of the CIA mention
Mentioned.
it?
Well,
That
like
doesn't
I
make
just said,
sense.
I literally just said, okay, we all know in history
So,
we learned about the hydrogen bomb,
well,
correct?
you're jumping the gun again because I'm getting to that, right? So it says, while it's true that the SS Ramadan was a Dutch freighter that transported goods, it has been claimed that those goods might have been dangerous chemical weapons used for warfare, like you were saying, the hydrogen. Uh,
Well, I just told you that potassium cyanide
mm-hmm.
is potassium cyanide.
Yep.
But then when water or moisture are introduced to this, it becomes hydrogen cyanide, hydrogen bomb.
Right.
Okay, here we are.
So then the other theory that is given is that deadly air. And this is so the reason why I find this one so interesting is because this is technically what they used in reference to the video game, the Dark Pictures Anthology video game.
Hmm.
They used deadly air, uh, as far as I recall. And it said, is it possible that if these chemicals were in fact on board, that they could have leaked into the ship's cargo hold and affected the captain and crew? And then it says, could the crew have slowly suffocated, perhaps hallucinating, unknowing of what was happening to them? So was the SS Ramadan's demise nothing but an accidental poisoning? How did the
Possibly.
crew or the rescue crew of the Silver Star come on board with the poisonous fumes totally unharmed? Could it possibly be darker forces were involved? So this is the
The
theory, like this,
paranormal side of it.
not a theory, but this is what I'm talking about that they used in the video game because I'm pretty sure from what I gathered of the video game, watching like a quick little snippet of it at the very beginning, is that this stuff, these chemicals that were on this ship, affected the crew members, and they died in this video game in the most horrific way. They
Horrific,
hallucinated that
terrifying day.
something was
Yeah.
chasing them, trying to kill them, and then they all just died. And it
Mhm.
was actually some type of like paranormal like entity type thing on that ship according to this video game.
Correct.
So
I
I
guess it
am
comes
up
down to
to
one of those
believe
things.
either theory, if I'm going to be honest. We all know that the government covers up things. That's a given.
Yeah,
We know that.
it's a given. They do.
Could it have been something paranormal? Absolutely.
Well, when you come back to paranormal, once again, the paranormal is something that you cannot
Right.
explain. So we really can't explain this, can we?
No.
So in a way, I guess it's paranormal. So
I mean, it says that even today, the SS Ramadan mystery remains unsolved. The vessel never
that
recovered, and the sailors' bodies never recovered.
same thing with the Mary Celeste to this day.
Only one thing is
It's
sure: the case of the SS Ramadan is one of the most mysterious and elusive in natural history.
Mhm.
With its precisely impossible nature, it captures our imaginations even all of these years later.
Well, X
And that is literally all the information you have on the Orang Madan.
exactly. And X, we have come to the end of another
Really? Oh
stream.
my gosh,
Yep,
we're literally at
we are
9:30.
at 9:27. So anybody that's out there watching, thank you for showing up again tonight. We hope
Yeah.
you do again next week. We'll try to have something exciting. Um, if you want to send us, send X an IM or me an IM and or DM, whatever you call it now, um, with something you might want us to talk about, do so.
I'm
We
gonna look
will
up Jerome, Arizona.
we will give it a try. Ty, we're going to check out what you mentioned. Um, so we'll do that. We thank you for coming tonight. We thank you, Raylene, for being here. We
Yeah.
also thank Haley if she's still here. Haley, it was a pleasure meeting you. Glad you came tonight, and come back and see us again. I hope. You know,
Yes. That's actually
we
exciting.
are. It is exciting. I enjoy having y'all come in. I didn't even make a short joke tonight.
You
I'm not
didn't.
going to make one now either.
You already started.
No, I'm not. I'm not making it. I'm not making a
Oh,
short old joke. I mean, oh, did I say that? I didn't mean to.
wow. Okay. Yeah, no. Before shots get fired, I'm leaving. All
Oh,
right.
all
Thank
right,
you guys so much
everybody.
for joining
Thanks for
us.
coming. We love you. Come back
Yes.
and see us again. You have
Next
a blessed
Tuesday.
evening. We love you. Good night,
Ho-
all.
Hopefully, it'll be the same time or proper time, 8 p.m. Again, apologies for the crazy confusion this morning.
It,
Um,
it
so
this
yeah,
morning.
we will
It's
see
this
you
evening.
next week. Mwah! Love you guys.
Have a good
Bye.
one. Bye, all.